Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Minnesota RØKKR co-stream. My name is Ashley, aka MiDNiTE, on board again with IKON. Let's freaking go, IKON. This is a big match today. You said it when you joined up in the call today with me. This is a big one. What are you? I guess because of it, this is a huge magnitude match for this group for Stage 5 LAN bracket place, kind of if you're going to end up in the winners bracket or losers bracket. What are you looking most forward to in this match, and why is it so much bigger than the others, you think?
Yeah, for me, it's just we keep talking over and over again how we have to beat those teams that are ahead of us. So picked before us, first or second in the group. Seems like what we've done the last couple stages is take care of business against those squads that are ranked, fifth or sixth in the group when it comes to Seattle, LAG, or Paris. Like normally we handle our business when it comes to those type of matches, but this is an opportunity here where Dallas and Toronto are the first two teams that were picked above us in the group. So this is a chance to come out and beat one of those squads. And if we can win either this matchup or Dallas, that should be enough to at least get us those 3 wins needed most of the time for winners bracket. And who knows, if you take care of business in this one, perhaps you could move on and end up 4-1 in the group or 5-0 in the group, and we'll see what happens from there. But big opportunity in front of us today, and I'm excited to watch and see what happens.
Yeah, RØKKR, we clinched our spot in champs with a win over LAG. It was, all but assumed that we were going to make it just based on the current league standings, but we officially clinched it in our last match versus LAG. And now, all the teams in the CDL are so dang good. But if you're looking at the groups for this stage, I would say RØKKR is in, for sure, the hardest group. You've got absolute killers in there. It's not going to be easy. And I think that this match is a huge indication of, the difference between you finishing 3-2 or 4-1 or finishing 2-3, and some crazy tiebreaker or something like that makes it so that you make the losers bracket for stage 5, which stage 5 obviously back on land, gonna have fans in the building. That's a big freaking deal, and you want to be starting on main stage in the upper bracket or the winners bracket in that scenario. So here for RØKKR, I think for Toronto, I talked to Coach Saint today. We did an interview for the RØKKR Twitter. Go check that out if you're into that. And he was talking about how we haven't beat them all year, right? Like I think we're like 0-3 or 0-4, and like, yep. Man, as somebody who loves like a good sports rivalry, I love, the little bit of the, look, it says Kings of the North. What the heck? What the heck? Strength in the North. I'm tilted, man. You guys drop Zinni, and he's still in your graphic. I'm pissed. I'm tilted. No, this is a pretty cool intro video. But yeah, so, Toronto, obviously, the Battle of the North thing, we've been going back and forth with them. But honestly, they've gotten the better of us even since last year. Toronto, they've won 2 events. We haven't won any yet. And they've been defeating us all year. It's time, baby. It's time to turn this car right around. It's time to go north for real. Go to Minnesota, because Minnesota is technically more north than Toronto. I will die on this hill. 1v1 I'll rust. It's just the way it is. I didn't make the world, all right? That's just geography. Minneapolis, St. Paul, more north than Toronto. Look it up. Google that. Anyway, sorry. I'm off on a tangent. Why do you think Toronto is so dang good? Like I would consider them a top 2 or 3 team in the league. You look at New York, obviously really good, except now they're a little shaky. Dallas went huge on land, but I would still consider Toronto like 2 or 3 in the league. What do you think keeps them makes them so strong, and I guess keeps them so strong all year?
It's the roster move that they made to bring in Insight. At the time, everybody was kind of shocked because when it came to methods, it was the best game that he's had probably since World War II. He really did. You look across the board at his stats and S&D he was putting up, and hardpoint he was playing well, but they were almost kind of in like the same scenario that we kind of find ourselves in, just in that, like, okay, we can take care of the teams that are towards the bottom, but we're struggling anytime we play the Atlantas, the Chicagos, those squads of the world. So they went ahead, they made a roster move, they brought in Insight, and it has absolutely paid off. I think when you see the combination of Cammy and Insight, those two are probably two of the top 5 ARs in the league. They absolutely shred. In their last match, even though they lost 3-2 to Dallas, this was on land. Insight had a 1.44, Cammy had a 1.2, and that was against Dallas on land. And basically everybody except for Crim went negative in that matchup. They were just able to squeak out the S&Ds. And if you win your S&Ds, then it doesn't really matter what your KD is overall. But yeah, it's a really great partnership there from the flex and the AR position between Cammy and Insight. And then if you start to dive in a little bit deeper, CleanX is really good. He's up there with the Abizis, the Envoys, the Standees, the Shotsies of the world with applying pressure, being super aggressive, and just getting into those spots where you don't expect people to be. And then when they really pop off is when Bance plays well also. You mentioned that they have a couple chips under their belt. The one that they won this year, Bance had his best weekend basically of his life. I mean, he played lights out. So when everything clicks for them, they've shown that they can beat Atlanta, but it's all powered by what happens from their flex and main AR position.
Yeah, I mean, they've just looked dominant, all season. Yo, they're in game 1 already. No keys to victory. Did you see that?
What the heck?
Dude, oh, man. Real quick, I can't remember what I predicted. I think I predicted RØKKR 3-2 or 3-1.
We both said map 5. You said 3-2 RØKKR. I thought maybe 3-2 Toronto. We'll see what happens.
Wow, Icon on the co-stream itself. You hear that, everybody? Icon thinks we're gonna. I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to keep my lead. You're catching up.
Hey, we'll take a look at the maps after map 1. They went right into this match. Shout out to CDL, I guess. Get us right into the action. Icon and I will be back right after the raid hardpoint.
So we'll see what RØKKR to do right out of the gates, but it's Priesta who's able to find 2, attach with another one. That's going to be 3 dead. A good start here for RØKKR.
Let's see how much of this time they were able to lock down, but Standy doing Standy things. That's 3 in a row, 2 of them headshots. Clean as all 4 get wiped off the slate for Ultra. And RØKKR will get a good chunk of this time. They're on the favorable side. If you take a look at the minimap, Attach has already picked up that water side push. Standy looks to keep it going here at mid-map. Attach will get traded out. Standy wins his ones, though. Keep an eye on that number 2 in Bance. He's pushing all the way through water side to try and get control of that kitchen.
Yeah, but Standy's already on 5 in a row. Can he just stay alive in this area? Maybe work some streaks so strong on raid. Is it a Yoko peek? That's Insight with a Krig, and Standy not missing right now. Up to 6 in a row. Gonna get some objective time here. Is this next hard point gonna pop? But 40 seconds plus a clean rotation plus Standy frying right now. This is a great start here for RØKKR, but can he find that streak? All the pressure on him. Does he get one? He at least finds one before Attach's nade takes him down.
We'll see when that will come into play, but what a lead they can take if they can close this down too as well at kitchen. But CleanX wins his 1, gets inside. The trade is there, and of course it's Standy again who finds his 8th kill of the map, make it 9. Standy not missing a bullet early. The man is on fire. The double chow then through for him and Attach. Enough to get the hold. And with 20 seconds left, I mean, you're going to be going up around 80 headed to garage. This has been close to perfect so far for RØKKR.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you can see what it's done. Inside doesn't even have a kill on the map yet, but now they're going to need a response here at garage. And Standing out with the Krig almost finds another triple, but you do have map control. You already have Cammy inside the hill, but Standy's going to get a close spawn. He at least reads that. That's a nice read by Cammy with that spawn position open, but that is 4 dead, and it's something that they needed.
Yeah, this is where you just have to answer back if you're Ultra. You found nothing really positive to write home about early in this game. His Insight's 4 in a row will end. Soaking up time, the hard point's just been Cammy. He hasn't been really needed to be involved so far on this point because his team is just winning all the fights in mid-map. RØKKR haven't even gotten close to this.
No, they're not even getting a chance at it. You can already see 20 seconds left. They're just going to rotate the basketball. So after a nice 2 hills in a row for RØKKR, you needed a response from Ultra, and you got it. And Bance, he's playing the long game. He's already towards your back rock. Priesta going to check the corner. Thought he was going to get caught, but he ends up finding that kill. Nice job by Priesta just to make sure that they have the rotation down. They're going to get into their setup, but CleanX quickly going to be inside of kitchen.
trades will come through, though, as RØKKR gets some semblance of control. But yeah, the Standy stat line just insane, considering the rest of the lobby currently, and they've got court control. We'll see if they get a smooth answer back. That Ultra Hole gets them into the game, but RØKKR, a big chance to answer right now. Will Kleenex's 2 make it 3 be enough? That should be pressure to the point. They'll have a 2-on-1 there. MiDNiTE, though, will win both, but there was a third actually pushing step side. It's Cammy that's able to find the kill.
Well, now, do you want to invest this streak? And that would be awesome, but 25 seconds left. I don't think it's going to happen. So they fought right back into this game. They get the break at basketball, one of the tougher hills to break on Raid. So a lot of momentum early on for RØKKR, just kind of shifts now in favor of Ultra. You still, though, have the artillery due to Standy's hot start, but they need to hold the hill because, well, Ultra, there they are, just firing right back. Get themselves right back in this game after a very slow start. Now over to RØKKR again. They're the first team in, but it's Kleenex and Bans, this SMG duo, who's able to get control of the hill.
Once down, nearly 80, now making the run, looking for a lead change, but the streak's getting ready to be used here from RØKKR. Let's go to an Astro listen-in with Toronto Ultra.
Go! Pillars, priest. Nice, boys. Good, you zig.
We pillars again, by the way.
Nothing.
I spawn water.
Oh, yeah, kitchen.
I get pillars, see.
Nice, good shit. Maybe pillars.
Or sick, I think.
I'm wrapping. I'll
Pillars.
Nice.
Something
I've got you zig now.
Nice.
Money, priest. Absolute, my bad. One shot. You're fine.
I went down.
Standy laundry. No, sorry.
Attach laundry at me. He's in new. Left side of it. Then.
Across. Yeah, one shot new. He's in the left side. Start side.
I'm going deep, okay?
Standing kitchen. One could have spawned behind you, Cam. Yeah, okay.
I went deep, okay?
Standing kitchen, dead. Nice, that's one dead.
I'm jungle.
I'm laundry. Yeah, I'm laundry.
He's gonna spawn in. Any.
He's on the heady, Toby.
Okay.
Spawned in.
He's weak. Right side, behind you, Cam.
Oh yeah, he pushed me out. Priester. There's 2 laundry.
I gotta wait up here. He's in art.
Only one more time. Yeah, right. Go mid and shit. Go mid.
Left side mid.
Alright.
Kitchen as well.
Yeah, kitchen and P5.
He's close. Close to our side hill. And one side laundry.
I gotta go mid.
Laundry.
You're the guy. I can kill the guy.
Out of the Astro listening and back into the action, a flurry of lead changes, but right now it'll be RØKKR out in front. It's another multi-kill from MiDNiTE. As Priesta follows that up, they started the game with a stronghold at first, followed by a nice job at second, and just look at the minimap. They're in position to maybe do it once again.
Yeah, I mean, this is really where they have gotten the lead, and it's just been due to their slaying on the hill. All 4 players were on a streak at one point. The difference, though, into second, they don't have kitchen control. They don't have mid-map control. So Ultra already here. Kleenex is inside. He's got the help of Bans inside, working around towards that flame from basketball. Doing a much better job from Ultra to have a response from that first hill. They're only down 25 seconds, but you see attached now. He's trying to go on a pinch towards that money window. He might be able to the player to break this hill. He's able to find one. He takes down 2. MiDNiTE still holding spawns. And with that pinch, they get the spawn control. They get the hill control. Great play on the Minnesota RØKKR.
Oh, attached. Lovely there. Assist on one. Knocks down the other. MiDNiTE turn inside, but Vance sees up to the task. But this is where, I mean, I guess Ultra have to respond again. I mean, that was the story of the first set of rotations. Could they lock down Garage to get right back into it? They were so good last time. And, well, this time they're at least, like, these final, 10 to 15 seconds, they're going to be able to accrue. Keep RØKKR spawned in the back. This could be even better than last time around. They could see a lead change here in Garage.
Well, it looks like they were a little bit worried if somebody snuck through the way Bans kind of backed on up. We saw them hold it last time. They had someone in ringside, someone inside of Art, right? Just playing with so much map control. But I think they thought maybe someone snuck on through. So Bans has to give up that position. That allows Minnesota RØKKR at least inside of Jim, and MiDNiTE doesn't have a ton of kills, but he's been on a couple of sprees. Does get taken down for RØKKR. I think this is probably going to be their last push at it.
Well, at least they got to push this time around in some capacity. Standy is lurking, but there are still 2 players here. We'll see if he can deal with both. Just takes down one. Not going to matter much in the swing of it, but look at that number 2. Tucked away. It's Bance. He's got Trophy out. It's in the corner. Now, how much of a spoiler can he end up being? He has no teammate help for another, 5 or so seconds. I think it's InSight that's trying to scurry across the map to get to him, and yeah, it's just not going to get there in time. So Bance's sneaky play, not going to pay off too much. The help's just not there.
Yeah, but this is the difference, right? The difference in that score is the break last time through at basketball. That's where Ultra has that lead. It's been a trade at Kitchen and Garage between these two teams. They're able to break through last time inside. He's able to sneak on through, at least I thought so, but it's Major Maniac in the back. He's on 3 in a row, and they're able to deal with that first push. They didn't do it last time around this time. Some nice shots, nice teamwork, and now you have Priesta all the way pushed out with Major inside of that money room.
Well, as you said, RØKKR have dominated this part of the matchup. Maybe not the matchup itself, but when it's gone to this map and mode, and one of the 2 times it's been played, there's a 3 down, though, for RØKKR. Good position for Ultra to get on the point. And you've got what? Once this time is done, you're only going to need 6 or 7 points now for RØKKR to get the win. It is 1 break, and you get the W and a great start to this series, but it's InSight's POV. He is on 4 in a row. Can they lock this down? They can win it on this point, and InSight may be a chance to get some streaks that could be huge in this final stretch.
Yeah, it would have been huge, but they take their time. RØKKR, they're able to get 3 down, and that should do it. Cammy, he's going to have to fly on through and get everybody, but he just can't do it. RØKKR with their hot start behind Standy, able to take this first map.
Yeah, he was just terrific. Absolutely terrific. I mean, through what? Just kind of ring and Kitchen, they were so good. I know the breaks weren't really there in the garage, but they were stellar in those first 2, and his impact with the SMG in hand was just terrific. So a fantastic start. They avoid the slow start we saw in their last series versus LAG, and it's exactly what I think they needed here against a team of Ultra's capabilities. Super stuff there from RØKKR.
Well, I mean, it's, again, a matchup where they have struggled, but look at here. The first hill, 5 seconds earned for Toronto Ultra. The second hill, right around, what, 35, 40, but then obviously that sort of changes going towards the 3rd and 4th hill. But it was just all RØKKR at Kitchen, at Ring. And they're able to put together that basketball hill on the 2nd rotation. That's the difference here in this match.
Beautifully done as well. InSight maybe thinking through things as they'll try to refocus and get ready to go for the search and destroy. They're no stranger to long series, deep series, comeback series. Ultra have done and seen it all, but it's a RØKKR.
Let's freaking go, IKON. That was a massive win on hardpoint raid right there. I mean, I know Ultra, they are so dang good at every map, it seems. I don't know their exact record on raid. What was it? They were
8-8.
They're 8. Okay. And they're 2-0 versus us, though. So this is our first time in Toronto.
We're 2-0 against them.
Oh, we're 2-0. Yo. How did we spawn on good side then? I'm still confused how it works. Like, 'cause if it was them, if it was our map pick, how do we get good side? Or maybe Toronto's just stupid. Anyway, regardless, what a massive win. Just came out so strong. How much do you think that strong start really helped? I mean, obviously, Toronto caught up at a certain point, and then they even took the lead by a bit. But that strong start, I think without that game's over way before we get to where we got to. What were your kind of takeaways from map 1?
Yeah, it was really back and forth. Obviously, the initial P2 hold was really important. So a lot of times what you see is it's tough to get inside of P1 over at Ring right off the rip because they have just a little bit less distance to travel to get inside of P1. So a lot of time what you're doing as soon as the map starts, if you have that left side jungle spawn, is to just try to do whatever you can to watch the push through Kitchen and over towards Pool, just so that you hold those spawns for P1. But not only were we able to hold spawns, we were also able to get time inside of P1. We held for P2, and that start was huge because as you go over towards P3, we basically weren't able to get, I think they got a full 60 seconds there inside of P3, which is tough to do. If you don't get initial kills as soon as P2 is over, then it's tough to break P3. There's only a couple choke points, and to get through those choke points is really tough. But where I really thought this map played out was over towards the second set of rotations, over towards P4. Bance was able to sneak through, and he was just kind of hiding in the corner. He did that multiple times, and for whatever reason, Priesta ran around the corner over towards jungle, was able to get that kill, and we were able to get that time inside of P4 and then couple that with time inside of P5, and that's where the map ended up coming to a close there. So overall, it was just, we did what we had to do at the beginning of the map. We made some clutch plays down towards the end, and we got a 250-225 victory to go up 1-0. But it doesn't get easier because Toronto's a super strong search and destroy team. So we'll see what happens in Moscow S&D. But going up 2-0 could be massive.
That would be absolutely huge. And yeah, Toronto's, I think, one of the best search and destroy teams in the league, probably right behind FaZe. And I mean, maybe even not, I mean, they might even be the best right now. So that winning that map 1 was massive. I think that's so huge for us. Our hard point's been looking shaky all year, obviously. So to have them come out and win against such a strong team like Toronto, you know, that's big. You know, it looks like they're doing the keys to victory. You know, they usually do that before, but hey, now they're doing it now. Better late than never. I guess we can kind of look a little bit farther ahead now. So obviously we won the raid. Search and Destroy Moscow is up next. That, I mean, that's, I would say, one of our decent search and destroys. It's no Miami, but it's definitely been steady for us. We're 4-3. Toronto's 7-6. Then you have Control Checkmate, and I'd love your take on map 3 there. We watched RØKKR pick Control Checkmate, I believe, versus Optic at the major, and I was fully tilted seeing that we had vetoed raid, one of our best control maps. Now, obviously, I think Optic was super good at control as well, and maybe that's the case here. Just Toronto's so freaking good at control on Garrison and raid, and so then you just kind of end up on checkmate. But yeah, I'd love to know like your thoughts there, and if that's a big swing map.
Yeah, so this map 3, the whole situation is just a little bit different from the Optic match, because in that Optic match, Optic is really good at checkmate. It doesn't matter what you're playing. When it was playing S&D, they're super good at S&D. Now, obviously, we don't play that anymore because of Express and Standoff coming in, but they were great in hardpoint, control, S&D. Like, they're just a really good checkmate team. When it comes to Toronto, the other two options, Garrison and Raid, they're strong at both of those. And they went on a streak where they went so many matches without losing on Raid control. So this is just an opportunity where they're 1-2. They haven't really played it much. And to me, it seems like now that we're seeing checkmate more, even though our record doesn't show it, something has me believing that we're playing well in scrims or something, because we keep going to it thinking that we can catch teams off guard. So we'll see what happens in map 3, but got to get to the S&D first.
It's all about expanding the map pool when you know you've made champs. I don't think it's possible, but very unlikely that we're able to leap up into 5th. So yeah, maybe they're just trying some new stuff here. So let's go into the search and destroy. RØKKR up 1-0 on Toronto. Knock on wood. Let's keep the pace. Let's freaking go. We'll see you guys after this.
See, because we're so used to it's just been kind of predictable in how they're going to play certain scenarios. RØKKR kick it off with bomb in hand. And there's a pretty heavy stack from Ultra towards that A site. Maybe ready for these kind of delayed up through mid esky hits that we've seen so common as of late.
Yeah, I feel like Ultra is always a team that they're confident in their retakes at B, so they like to stack this site early on. Is you have those 3 players there, and then Insight just playing for the information. Standy gonna get hit with a nade that'll slow things down, but you know, eyes on this SMG duo, because how do you get attached more comfortable? He's always been just such a consistent player throughout his career. But you could see the way they are playing with Insight, back and forth, giving them that information, who is going where, but it's gonna be Bance with that first blood, and they still have all the positioning in the world towards A.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, the patience has been here. They've played it beautifully, maybe a little bit of an overchild, but the trade does come in. They keep the numbers. Now going to be a 2-on-1, making a 1-on-1, and Standy, I'll tell you what, he gets another bullet in, might be able to clutch that up, but Ultra's defense too strong in the opening round.
Yeah, it just starts with that first blood, and then they have the information. Inside, he's able to cheat on over, right? We were just on board with him all the way back plat, but he's able to get there. He's got the information. And that's just because he's playing around middle. He sees they backed on up, and okay, there's 30 seconds left. They have contact. They're going towards that A site. So he just gets over there quickly.
Those are the times where I kind of really miss smoke grenades. You know, you kind of mess with that player a little bit, cut off that line of sight, but yeah, he just sees it all from the back. Out of offense, and you have trophies available here for Ultra. But it is very slow out the gate. Maybe just waiting on a little bit of an over-aggressive challenge from RØKKR. His insight will eat the tactical. That is lovely shots from Bance to get the first blood.
Yeah, I mean, that's a 74U. I mean, good shots out of Bance. I mean, Priest has challenged that 10 out of 10 times, but he gets taken down. And yeah, the reason that Minnesota RØKKR didn't rotate on over is because Priest has all that information out of the window, but he gets caught now. You see what that does? Attaches all the way in the spawn. They still, though, have those two players at A. All of those rotations off in delayed hits through mid have kept them honest towards that site. So it's going to be a 3v3. That's a nice shot by Attach to give them equal numbers. Looks like Stanley's going to go through the middle of the map.
He's probably going to be the player that most likely decides this round, depending on how this gunfight goes. Well, excuse me, maybe not a gunfight. It's a melee to the face. Cammy, though, wins his one. Inside gets another, and it's Standy in another clutch situation with 20 seconds on the clock. Able to take the first. It's another one-on-one, and another sequence where maybe one bullet decides it. It's been so close for the young man.
There's just there's a pull there that just saves Cammy's life. And I don't know what that shot melee was, but I feel like I didn't see the shot go off, but
no, neither did I.
He hit a shot melee. So he's got some timing that was ridiculous, that first kill on the Bance. He probably had no idea what happened, but yeah, Cammy able to reposition, goes for the chow, and that lamp pull, able to give them that second round.
Yeah, I just would love to see the health of the two players at the end of that on the Ultra side. It had to have been weak. Well, the first time, definitely there. I couldn't tell how many hit markers he got and how many were the pole just eating it.
Well, I was like, was he weak or what? And then we went to Stanley's point of view, and he had 29. So he shot a bullet and meleeed him, and yeah, that was fast.
Yeah, those reactions are far faster than I am humanly capable of. Probably why he's in the pro league and I'm commentating over it. But Priesta, there's a double chow towards his side, and he at least gets one before he drops, and a little bit of added information to his squad. RØKKR in maybe the best position they've been in thus far. Bomb planted in a 3v3.
Yeah, Bance going all the way around. He's got the help of Cammy, and Cammy can't finish the kill. He's able to find it, but now Standy is still alive. It's that same pole. The same pole was there helping out Cammy, but Standy's still alive. 15 seconds left. Just going to try and play the clock.
Does he have to be in a clutch scenario every round? Is that just a requirement currently in this search and destroy?
It's feeling like this time he's got it.
Get it? This time he's got it. He's able to take it. It felt like it was a matter of time with how close the last two were.
Yeah, I mean, Banson inside here with the time. They're just trying to, hopefully he peeks this. Hopefully he's peeking an angle. He's got to watch over him. It's just the wrong way, the wrong doorway. And Standy, 7 kills. So he's having a heck of a series here so far, but he needs a little bit of help.
Yeah, it's just tough because, a lot of those kills in a way don't matter, right? Like the rounds you lose when it's those clutch scenarios don't really matter much in the overall tally, but finally he's able to get the round victory. So that ends up massive for them. Bance from this spot. Last time on offense, we saw him gun Priesta from the opposite window. Priesta not going to be home in that position this time around.
RØKKR kind of doing the same thing. They had 3 towards A. Major pretty quick in the round is thinking this is going to be a hit towards the B site. Standy, we saw that position yesterday inside escalators. That was by Neptune. He tries to get to that spot, but he dies. Priesta with one of his own. But the trade's in favor of Ultra. 2-on-3. The one player here going to be attached and, tries to rotate back, but he gets caught. Just too fast from Toronto Ultra.
A Major's going to need a little bit of help. Not from a teammate, but maybe from some sort of supernatural force to get this done. But so far, there's one, and he gets away with his life. Down to a 1v2, and so worried about the push. Finds a sub work with as well as we get with the 30. second mark. He's got the weaponry to do this, but the position is there for Ultra. They close it out and take the 3-1 edge.
Yeah, I mean, this duo in Checkmate inside, they've been in this scenario 100+ times in that 2 versus 1 with the bomb down. They know the setup that they want to go into. They have the information. They know where he is. It's just a matter of, when are we going to basically hit that shot, right? When is he going to go? They're able to catch him. Is Ultra in control of this search and destroy?
But I was basically saying, while I was trying to fix my mic, that surely they would win this 4v2, but things unravel very quickly, and we're into another clutch scenario, and it ends up being a 2v4 round victory for Ultra. Attach opens it up, and that might decide the game. That's just one where you are in a 1-3 hole, and Attach starts it off like this. You have a 4v2. You cannot lose that. You simply cannot.
No, yeah, just giving those rounds away. Yeah, as you said, Attach gets those 2 freebies, slow things down, group up together, but they just get picked apart. And props to Insight winning that 1v1. They read that map together. They're able to put them up 4-1 in a strong position. But yeah, I had no idea what was going on because we were having some audio issues, and then...
Yeah, did you miss me?
I wasn't sure if I disappeared. I just never know in those situations. Should I talk? Like, if you talk, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. The beauty of being at home and the internet, Joe. It can happen to the best of us, but Ultra just running away with this one. Now up 5-1, looking for a very quick answer to the hard point loss. Is CleanX simply too clean? We'll see the play once again. Beautiful search and destroy here out of Ultra. Granted, there have been several rounds that RØKKR could have won. Some I know were clutches. One they absolutely should have, but Ultra are taking advantage of the spots where they can.
Well, they are. Every single time RØKKR throws something different, Ultra, they make their adjustments. They're ready for it. Now it's going to be a 2-2 split here for Ultra and some aggression towards this B Street. Gamey able to find one. He's got his teammate watching over him and inside, but there is a quick trade from Standy, a nice nade, able to connect onto him. So we're, again, into a 3-on-3. RØKKR, I would assume, just going to try and slow things down, maybe just try to use information and get Ultra to over-rotate, but they're trying to isolate Insight. But Insight able to find one, and he's just buying time for his teammates to rotate on over. Just can they get there in time? Not there to help them, but now they can defend B.
Yeah, they have quite a bit of information, though, due to the finesse there from Insight and just the sheer amount of time that he stayed up. And it's a clutch scenario, and Joe, of course, it's Standy.
Of course it is. Yeah, what is this, the fourth round already?
Fifth, Yeah, no, he's been in so many of these spots, but 20 seconds ago, let's see if he can get it done. The first gunfight goes his way. The second shot's going to come. The re-snap. And Standy takes it. Unfortunately, you're still on a 5-2 hole because the only 2 rounds you have won have been Standy clutches.
Well, yeah, right. It's his first kill, and then I think right there he's juking the kill cam. So Bance is giving the call out that he's running away towards middle, right? So he sees that in the death cam. Then Standy knows that. They're probably playing a back-to-back with the way they're set up in there. He reads it perfectly, and hey, he gets their second round. These are the Standy rounds.
Yeah, God, you get maybe one of those first 2 clutches to go his way. You don't throw away a 4v2, and This is a really tight search and destroy. They're not quite out of it yet, but I think they're going to need to get it done in another way than Standy clutches if they're somehow going to pull off 5 straight to get this W.
Yeah, they have the read on it. They know where Ultra are going inside of B. 3 players early rotated. Bomb, though, being planted. Tatch, looks like he's going to go on a really long flank, so they're going to have to wait on him. This kind of comes down to that. While everyone else is getting set up to retake this, Tatch is going all the way through, and Standy just gets on the bomb. They've given up the site. Major's just going to hold down the street. There's nobody inside, but Kleenex is able to go through the middle of the map and force a 2v2.
20 seconds to go. It's just on Priesta now. So little time to work with. He's got to get the kills down to another 1v1. What a ludicrous search it has been from that standpoint. But Bansh just has to play his time, and he has done that. Ring around the rosy we go. You finally find him, and you're greeted with death. Toronto Ultra close out the search and destroy 6-2. I mean, pretty dominant for the most part. I feel like there were so many 1v2s, 1v1s like coming down to the wire. It was an entertaining one, despite the fact that it was a blowout.
Oh, it was. Even that last round, just half a second off, and a couple of those rounds, it was one more bullet from Standy, and that could have been a tied game. But Ultra, they don't allow those clutches to happen. They time it out. They know as soon as they get out of that site that someone could hop the bomb in the 4v4. So Bance through the middle of the map, able to find an opening and get that player on the defuse.
It was just interesting to see. I guess I feel like when it's one player alive a lot, it's usually like that island player or like that AR, you know, that's on the offsite. Like, it's not usually consistently like, I don't know, a Standy, like the role he plays. But however it kept breaking down, I mean, he was just in this spot where he was last alive so many times, so many chances to come up clutch. And hell, I mean, the guy goes 50-50 in those positions, but just not enough as they couldn't get it done with the rest of the squad. And that'll get us tied up 1-1. But let's take a look at our U.S. Army tactical play. This is actually going to be from round 5. It's going to be an insight play that we're going to check out one more time. Joe, let's take a look.
Yeah, this is just in that 2 versus 4, right? You get attached, he's able to find those first 2 kills, and Camming Insight. You see RØKKR kind of slow down, but they're not together quite yet. And this is when Insight, he's able to find one. There is no quick trade. That is bomb down Cammy. He's able to find one. There's trying to get a trade. That was Priesta. And now he has to go on a basically, he's got to go on a chase. He's not close enough to his teammate. This entire time, MiDNiTE is going on a long flick. They're just giving up too many one-on-ones without any fast trades. And Camming Insight, they will take that all day.
100%. And MiDNiTE doing his best to get this one done. So I guess, you know, there was somebody in a 1v1 that wasn't Standy. My apologies. But he just seemed to be there so many times. But Insight able to close it out. It's a quick response from Ultra in the search and destroy. It'll bring us to 1-1. We've got the control coming up after this break.
Man, Tadush in the chat said it themselves. Closest 6-2 ever, Lamau. That's kind of, I mean, that kind of is what it felt like. There was so many instances where Standy was, I mean, he was going off the entire map. So many instances where he was last alive, having to clutch up. He did a couple times, but you traditionally don't see that, right? Like a submachine gun player who's pushing the pace, planting the bomb, ending up last alive in the rounds. Just, I feel like the tides really turned, and I'm not sure which round it was. It was the one where Attach got the 2-piece, and it was 2v4.
Yeah,
you got to come out with those. But I mean, what are your thoughts? Does this like doom us for the rest of the series, or is that map 1 win really going to help us out?
No, I mean, sometimes that's just how S&D goes. I think the only inexcusable round was that one where you had a 4v2. You're not close enough to trade, and they end up just picking you apart. But the first 2 rounds, both of those, Standy was in a 1v1, and sometimes you win them, sometimes you don't. That's how Call of Duty goes sometimes. But even with that inexcusable round, it was 3-1 at that point in time. So if you win that, it's 3-2, and then who knows what happens after that. But sometimes that's just how S&D goes, and we know that Toronto is the second best S&D team in the CDL, so they don't really make very many mistakes. And if they're not making mistakes, you have to capitalize on those 1v1s when you have the opportunity to do so. Make sure you're getting your trades and watching your angles and stuff like that. And it just didn't happen. So it is what it is. We look ahead to Checkmate Control. And I'm actually kind of excited for this because it's a map that they don't have a ton of reps on. It's one we don't have a ton of reps on. So who knows? It's neither one of our favorite maps, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited to see, you know, which team can kind of just do the things that they're trying to accomplish on the map, because that's what this really comes down to in this one.
Yeah, that's what's going to be crazy to me. I mean, I know like I predicted 3-2, you know, RØKKR could take it, but after just watching Toronto search and destroy, knowing how nasty they are, I do not want to go to map 5. Let's say we win these next 2 respawns, guys. Like you said, we got Control, Checkmate. So, and no matter what, we're going to go to hardpoint Garrison as well, which, you know, we're 5 and 10 on, but we have been looking a lot better on it recently. So who knows how that's going to go. But yeah, I don't want to say it's a must-win situation. I mean, Standoff is map number 5. I think RØKKR is 0-2 on that. We've never won it. We haven't played it a ton. And then Toronto's 2-1, which, hey, ain't too bad. Maybe we've got a couple of new approaches for that there. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take it one map at a time. It's 1-1 right now, and we're going into Checkmate, a map that I don't think either team is very fond of. And it kind of just, I mean, maybe it just feels like the teams are just trying to get reps right now. Like we're solidified pretty much for champs. We could, by some miracle, still go up to 5th or down to 7th, but you know, Toronto, they really are fighting for, I think it's that 2nd place spot in the league with their CDL points. So this match would actually be even the 10 points from this match win is pretty big deal for them. So we've got to come correct. IKON, you're frozen on my screen. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay.
For some reason, my camera keeps on. Keeps freezing. No idea.
All right, I wasn't sure if I was boring you to sleep or something, or you're about to fall asleep. But no worries, dude. No worries. I guess predictions here for the Control Checkmate. I know it's kind of hard to tell because both the teams haven't played it a ton. But is it fair to say you think whoever wins this next map is highly likely to win the series?
Yeah, 1,000%. I could see it work out that way. I actually think that going into this map, I'm actually pretty confident just based off of how that map 1 hardpoint on raid went. Just the fact that we were able to really assert our dominance in that first respawn. I think if their flex, their main AR, if Cammy and Insight are frying, then a lot of times a map like this, Checkmate, where there's a ton of wide open spaces, a lot of time that can be really tough to beat them on, because if you have to run through openings and they're on a heady and they're looking down those lanes, it can be tough. But if, you know, it's going to be very similar to map 1, where if Mike comes out and plays well and Standy's able to be aggressive and we're able to keep their flex and main AR at bay, then I think we have a shot. So I'm interested to see what happens here.
Definitely agree. And it's kind of like Dumb and Dumber. You're saying there's a chance. There is still a very good chance we could win this series, but we got to come correct. It is the Toronto Ultra. We've got to go big here. Let's see if we can do it. Checkmate Control coming up, and myself and the Frozen IKON will be back after this map.
Now to the Control, and I know you, the reason we're talking about the Checkmate, and maybe it just being a tiny bit surprising for you, is what, just on the year, how many times we've seen it. What is it, like 3?
3? Yeah. No, 2.
Yeah,
or yeah, 3. 1 and 2.
Yeah, and 15 for Minnesota.
Well, I think they just needed this in case, Dallas likes to play this. You know, New York is a team that can throw this in there, but I think they also need a curveball for Atlanta FaZe. That has been a map that team has not played a ton of. I'm sure they practice it a lot, but in the matches, it's always been Raid and Garrison. And they kind of mimic that style. It's just, well, FaZe is won a good amount of them. So I think they're just trying to get better at this map, have this in their back pocket for later on in the year.
Yeah, and we always try to bring this up too. Remember, they're scrimming this a lot, because I remember it was it Apocalypse, or I can't remember what map. It was about Ultra, and we were talking about them trying to widen their map pool, I believe, after their victory at a major, and it came out and won it by like 200. So it was like the first time we'd seen them play it in an official match. So, you know, they could come out here and look great.
Yeah, well, they had a great start, and now it's RØKKR who they get A control. They have a life advantage. And Ultra, I think, just going to try and trap them in. See if they can find any of those picks. You have Kleenex going all the way through on a flank towards their staircase. He's able to find one, but nice shots by Major to make Kleenex very weak and have to back down from taking a second fight. But that is what we know, right? Okay, they give up the zone. But after, it's the 3-4 kills. And now they get set up where they can put them in a trap. That's what we didn't see a couple of times at the Major.
Absolutely. Can they really take advantage of this? Kleenex doing his best to do it. Sees the shots close to him. Pushes the streak up to 5 in a row. Tagged up, but able to finesse away. He's taking shots from everywhere. He challenged that fight with 20 HP when he's able to get one more, but the streak will end at 6. Now RØKKR maybe a chance to start layering up the map a bit and working towards B.
Yeah, I needed that. I mean, they still have a minute to work with, but they keep the life advantage as well. It's only 1. You put the pressure on Ultra to have to, you know, keep fighting in the middle of the map. That's a huge win there by Cammy on the standy. They'll slow down Minnesota RØKKR. You have Bance getting very aggressive up towards that B side. They're just trying to wait. They're trying to not get caught off a spawn and wait for their teammates to help them out. Nice trade so far for RØKKR to keep it close, but the time is ticking. Only 25 seconds left.
Yeah, Bance just right up the gut. Able to get behind enemy lines and play spoiler a bit longer. And with him in this position, how can you even focus on getting towards the objectives? Look at where they're pinned right now and where they've got to get to. At this point, do you have enough time to get to it? You've got to go. You've got to go quick. 3 seconds left. Can they get the touch onto the objective? They can't. So just simply not enough time to get there. They get 3 points of objective, but it's a round victory for Ultra.
And it's just from that moment, once A's done, it was a good start by Ultra, and then, you know, it was a rebound by RØKKR. They're able to get towards A, and after that, it's what Ultra are able to do so well. As soon as that point is captured, it just feels like they collapse, or they wait. They're patient enough where they make the kills a little bit easier for them, and then they put them in that trap. RØKKR just not able to get mid-map and able to work that B zone.
See, anybody working on streaks? Really, not really. I guess you have 3 in a row for Insight, but that's about it. That's probably going to be tough to play off of on the offensive side of it, too. But Attach just trying to get playing control. Able to spot one. Knows he's got one on the opposite side of this as well. So far, so good for the defense. Well, maybe not. Cammy will get playing control for now, but waiting for 2 to come off spawn and get into the mix.
And Bance is all the way pushed up towards Wood, just trying to find a couple of players off a spawn, put pressure on them. He's able to take down 1. He's in a great position, able to take down 2. Immediately, that allowed Cammy to get onto the B zone, but Major was ready for that rotation. But Bance is just trying to be a thorn in their side right now. Just have Minnesota RØKKR focus on him, and that opens up so much of the map for his teammates. Beautiful life out of Benjamin Bance.
As look at the freedom they've gotten now. You're on both points. You're still finding kills. It's scrambling time a little bit for RØKKR. Have to pick which point they want to hit. And, well, if they end up hitting both and getting all the kills, so much less of a scramble and more asserting their dominance, just get the clear defensively. You don't get a bit of objective progress on either point. Only 30 seconds left to go. Nice defense. Nice retake there from RØKKR.
Yeah, that's tough, too, because it feels like if you're Bance, you feel like you did so much work to allow your team to get pushed up. But 3 do go down. Major's the last one alive, trying to find a kill, a free one, just have someone run by him, but he ends up getting caught. And again, you have Ultra on both points. They're able to get progress at A, able to get progress at B, but they have to work a zone for the time extension. A is going to be the call.
Yeah, it's Major Maniac that's all the way pushed up towards B. He's cutting off reinforcements on the cross, so a nice bit of work there for Major Maniac, but he does get traded out. There's the extra minute, so they're able to get that done. A little bit scary there with no points and 30 seconds left to go, but they're able to clutch up, and now with 4 dead for RØKKR, you can just get right onto the point. They're not going to play the stack. They're going to try to play a little bit more aggressive and go for the kills, and unfortunately, there's a team kill. Major Maniac takes down 2. Priesta gets 1 more. It's a clean wipe of Ultra. I thought they were in such a good spot there for a moment.
Still in a solid spot, though, right? I mean, they had around 1 minute and 15 once they all got taken down. They have the life advantage, so there's only 10 lives remaining. But now it's a little bit different because it's been 3-4 kills in a row. Major's on a streak. MiDNiTE though was able to sneak up the middle of the map. Look at number 4. He gets behind enemy lines somehow. He doesn't find a kill, but he turns the white arrows around. That allows his team to get out of the trap. MiDNiTE able to find the opening in the defense.
See if that'll be enough. He's going to need to rely on his teammates to make the plays now. As Bance falls, it gets a little bit more difficult. Once again, 30 seconds on the clock and a lot of work to do. And they just get the one crucial break. A nice gunfight win from MiDNiTE. All 4 players here ready to launch, ready to spring onto this objective if they can get there. But it's a good job from RØKKR to keep going 1 for 1 at this point. Just not allow a breakdown and a crack in the defense to get them onto it. But Cammy has great shots at range. She takes down 2. But look, an immediate double from attached to answer. But they're still alive on the point. It's just going to be, who was it? Cammy. With that 3 in a row, just enough to keep them up. But you've only got 1 life left on RØKKR. It's going to be a 1 versus 2 for MiDNiTE. 15 and 13. He's had so many multi-kills over this stretch. The second bit done, he's going to have to go. He's able to take down 1, now down to a 1 versus 1. Just look at that objective. It's getting so close. Waits for the health to get back. Oh, no.
A little too patient.
Oh,
a little too patient. He was waiting for him to fully heal on up all the way through.
No.
But these are the 3 kills. This best play that you were talking about. And I mean, Ultra almost played it too safe. They were very patient. But I mean, MiDNiTE has to rotate on up with 0.3 seconds left. Cammy, he gets the 3 kills. He's able to get on the point. He is there for the trade. And in the 1v1, yeah, Major MiDNiTE just waiting for that health to go all the way through. But it was just a half second too late.
And it's so tough because, you know, you're weak. They know where you are. You just killed their teammate. It's like you don't want to take a gunfight at half HP, but that's a tough pill to swallow too, just to lose the round in that fashion.
100%, yeah, because I mean, you know, there's just so many different ways that he can drop on down. But now they're down 2-0. They lose the defensive round, and right out of the gates, it's Toronto Ultra putting them in a trap. Priest, the only player alive, he gets taken down, and now look at MiDNiTE's position. Just putting bullets in RØKKR members. Has the help of Bance now. He finds a Krieg on the ground, and they're just wasting so much time. Does RØKKR have to fight out of this?
Oh, yeah, they are penned. They're already down 6 lives. And it's just that situation where you are like, spawn up, gun up. As there are eyes on every cross on your spawn as Bance continues to take fights. He's now at the 4 in a row. It's a 3-down situation once again for RØKKR. Major MiDNiTE at least able to come through on the wall bang. But look at the, there's all 4 in that bottom right corner. Oh, this is a nightmare right now for RØKKR.
Yeah, Cammy and MiDNiTE able to find 3. You still have Insight all the way pushed up in the back of their base. Dandy has to take a long route to take him down. Now maybe they can get out. Nice shots through the crate onto MiDNiTE. But he's got no help. He's got no help. They're just trying to get through in one of the more dominant rounds so far on Checkmate control.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to touch an objective. Like I don't think they are. No, they're not going to. Not even going to touch it. It is so strong defensively from Ultra to close out that control. Unbelievable. I mean, a wacky finish to that round 2, but yeah, kind of the total opposite in the round 3 to end it.
Well, and this is what you wanted to see from Ultra, right? On a map they don't play a lot of unofficial matches. What do we see round 1 defensively? Kind of what they're known for, the fundamentals, rotating off of one zone, and then setting up Minnesota in that trap. In round 2, they played it very patiently on offense, taking their time, finding openings. Bance was a big part of that, and then round 3, I mean, they dominated. So looking good so far. We'll keep our eyes on Ultra on Checkmate.
And it's similar. I mean, maybe not as clean as, you know, the one I was talking about, but it's sometimes you just look at it, you see they only played it 3 times, you're like, oh, all right, well, let's see what they're capable of, and they come out and dominate once again. They're just they're a great team from top to bottom, but go anything quick through the stats that really stood out?
I mean, MiDNiTE, solid game from him, but nothing too crazy on either sides. It was close up until that final round.
It absolutely was, but we are going to head to break out of the control. Ultra up 2-1. We've got hardpoint coming up next. We'll see if Ultra can close it out and continue kind of this perfect stretch they have had in league matches. They have been dominant. We'll be back after the break.
Icon, that was pure pain and terror to watch. 3-0 on Checkmate control by Toronto Ultra. I mean, fair play. They played that really well. But yeah, we lose, lose on offense first. Barely lose. I mean, I guess you could argue we didn't really have a ton of business even being close to winning in the second round there, but by one kill we're unable to do it, and then we just got absolutely mollywopped for the third. And I don't know, man. I think I can't remember if I said this while we were in between maps or just while they were playing, but it seems like Toronto is really good at not tilting, and just like if they lose, they're not down in the dumps, and they're not going to take it to heart, and they're going to go into the next maps full confidence. I'm not saying that RØKKR can't or won't do that, but it does seem like if they get just whooped like that, they have a harder time previously coming back strong. But that's not to say they can't. Let's see something different then, boys. Let's see how they look on this hardpoint Garrison. So yeah, I mean, how do we even break that one down, Icon? Or do we just say that Garrison's a trash map and we talk hardpoint? What do you think?
Yeah, there were really just two massive plays on their one offensive round. Vance pushed forward and he was able to go on like a 5 or 6 spree, and we couldn't get out of our base to get back to those points to defend. And then we saw on our last offense, Insight was pushed forward, CleanX was pushed forward, we were spawn trapped, and we just weren't able to get out. And sometimes if you go on a streak, a 4 or 5 streak or something like that, and you're on defense, that's what happens on that map. And now you're stuck, because to get out of your base, you have to run through those wide open spaces. It's tough to do, and Toronto showed you right there how to play the map, and it just unfortunately didn't go well. But what I will say is that if you look at ranks based on game modes, like if you look at Toronto, I think they're like the 5th best hardpoint team. So sure, they're going to win the majority of their hardpoints, but it's definitely not what they're best at. But what they are really good at, the only team that's better than them at both S&D and control is FaZe. So even if you come out and you do beat them on a map 1, they're really good at S&D, so they're more than likely going to level the match at 1-1. And then they're super good at control. There was a point in time where they had won raid control like 11 matches in a row, or some crazy stat like that. So they'll come out in the control, they'll get back to 2-1, and then here we go again. You have to beat them at another hard point and then hope to clutch up in a map 5 S&D. So it can happen. We've shown as of late going into Garrison that we've been playing it much better than we were at the beginning of the year, but still they're a tough squad, and we just have to win another hard point here.
Yeah, this is not going to be easy. I think, and I think, I meant Checkmate's the trash map, and it, nothing matters when it happens on Checkmate. It's not necessarily true, but, Standy and Priest are really definitely struggled in that map number 3. And I think them going off and leveling with Toronto here on hardpoint Garrison will be critical if we're going to try to win this and take it to a map 5. So give me some hype in the chat, guys. Let's get behind the guys. Give some good energy in the chat. Who do you think is going to get first blood right here? I got Priest on, looking over a concrete barrier and just getting the first blood here on the hardpoint. Let's see if we can take it. Come on, at least make it interesting. Let's go to map 5, boys. Anyways, thank you, everyone. We will be back right after this map.
In control. It's kind of similar, right? They lose that raid hardpoint. Now, can they bounce back here in Garrison?
Well, we have to do a couple players' POVs on Ultra who are quick to drop, but who we started with, we get back to, and it's Cammy from Caution. Hitting his shots. Continuous fights around the hardpoint, but it is green and hardpoint control right now for RØKKR. You see those key positions they're in. That number 6 on the minimap attached, just trying to keep that area of the map locked down, concerned for the second hardpoint.
Yeah, and it was a nice break off there from Minnesota RØKKR. It looks like it was a bit of a delayed hit out of lights, and they were able to catch Ultra as they get pushed on up. But on the rebound, it's Cammy who's able to find a couple of kills. You see off spawn Major Maniac and attach and have to rotate on over. You still had Standy who was top green. He kind of flies on out towards catwalking. Now you just have Priest still lurking, trying to find a kill or two when they transition from this point to the second one. That's exactly what Priesta wants to do. He wants to slow down their first push. A nice lurk out of Priesta.
Now, do they look for him, or do they just take the 4-on-3 and try to get across? They're going to challenge. Kleenex able to take him down. That'll be 2 straight kills through for Ultra. Maybe numbers here for a moment. Ants is going to opt to try and cut off the reinforcements, and he's doing a lovely job of that. It'll be Insight continuing to take the fight towards the point, but I loved it. You know, Banch just kind of left his teammates, let them take the fight. Well, they actually never got control. I was going to say, he did such a good job killing the 2 players off of spawn, but all right, now finally they're able to get the hardpoint control with about 25 seconds left.
Yeah, they did that on 2 sides. When Attach was in there, they got so pushed forward that they knew the kills that they had control of the spawns. And then, you know, when they flipped them, Bance went right back up the middle, was able to find those players off the spawn. But RØKKR, they're just going to they'll take the split time. Because now they're going to get set up at our 3rd hill.
Well, who was on the point Attach? I mean, he has stayed alive in a, what, 1v2 or 1v3 for like 15 seconds.
And sometimes we see that position and people look unkillable back there.
Yeah, it is true. But and he's a big part of the reason this maybe isn't a little bit more of a separation. But you were mentioning kind of that split in time and how you feel okay about it. But now it looks a little bit different with that easy kind of breakthrough for Ultra. They've got the spawns in the back now. They're finding the kills, and they're looking to chain together kind of the tail end of the time at 2nd into 3rd.
Yeah, and they do it a little bit differently. They just go right through the front. They do nothing in the middle. They don't do anything up caution. It's 4 right through the middle, and they just break through the spawns. They're able to get towards the back. They're finding the last 15 or so seconds. So they get 40 seconds off of that hill when they didn't have those spawns. Nice job by Ultra to give them that lead.
We heard the comms from Ultra. They started to try and make a rally early in the map 1. RØKKR, they're in trouble. They're on the brink of getting eliminated for the 4th time. You talk about this matchup versus Ultra. Let's see what they've got left in the tank. They can get the W here in map 4 as we go to an Astro Listen In with Minnesota RØKKR.
They go blind spot. They go blind spot.
Low float. He's there.
Nice. Low float.
Back big door. I have you. Back up.
Blind spot.
Mid tanks, Kleenex.
Blind spot weak. Carry one shot, you box. Make sure you get right.
Where did he go?
Right side mid. I'm wrapping back L.
Right side mid on me.
He's holding the heady.
Right side mid, inside dead.
I'm holding green.
I'm helping mid.
Alright, I'm in L.
Try to get bridge stairs if we
Bridge
can.
stairs. Shot
He
mid.
doesn't go right.
I'm looking over you mid, Eli.
I'm going underground.
I'm seeing bridge stairs.
That's mid tanks.
Low caution,
mid-
low caution,
Mid
weak.
tanks.
Low caution in bridge stairs. Low caution in bridge
Yeah,
stairs.
Top bridge, Kleenex weak. Top bridge.
Top bridge.
Mid
I spawned in the back gold.
takes the rails.
He's gonna hold.
He's top
He's
green.
top green.
Okay, we're good.
He's top bridge. Nice.
Let's beat the bridge steps. Yo,
Green.
be
Try
hot,
to
be hot,
get in
dead,
green.
be
Try
hot,
to
dead.
get one stack.
Nice.
Stacks in top green. Last 2.
I don't see top green.
Top green.
And one's wrapping bridge.
Nice, weak green.
Green.
I need top green.
Phoenix is still
I
green.
need top green. They're not an initial. Yo, try to just.
Yo,
Run back. Hold.
I'm on shot. I can't kill him.
Tank. I
I'm
spawned up.
He got me.
Yeah.
Be hot bench. I don't know if that was him. Was that him?
I don't think it was.
You guys on time?
Okay, I'm flashing over. You can
I
look
showed
over.
you.
I'm gonna look over. I'm gonna look over
I'll
hill.
get-
Try to look over hill.
I'll get top. Every top.
And one's
Cammy dead.
One's in bricks. One's in
I
bricks.
need inner bricks. We should hit bricks. He's
on
already
stack.
bricks. Hard bricks.
Stacks, man.
Go
Well, one stop
straight.
brick.
Rick. One shot. Insight. One shot.
Try to
We
get
kill both bricks.
No one brick.
I'm helping left.
Dan.
Kleenex weak on point. Let's two on
Go to the
point.
left.
Two
You
back
went alley.
to
You went alley.
Yeah,
There's
looking at
one
top.
alley.
Kimmy's one shot on point and one
I need
dark.
four.
Hurt
I'm hitting y'all, bro.
He's upside bricks. There's
Right
two
side
bricks.
mid.
Carry
Right
down
side
a point.
mid.
Yeah, there's 2 bricks. There's 2 bricks on me.
I have your arch.
Okay, they can be close left. I'm looking arch.
Close.
Man, slow
Kleenex
crates
dead.
dead.
I'm looking arch.
One
No
more
bricks.
I'm going mid.
You could probably triple box. Yeah, I have your help.
Bridge stairs. Still mid.
I wish sometimes you guys could hear Joe during listening. At one point, he just goes, "They are trapped." Ay.
Yeah, I mean, props to Ultra, but you can kind of hear it. At the 4th hill, you know, Ultra were able to break through. They get the map control, and I think the P5 into P1 transition is really where good Garrison teams have sort of widened the gap on this map. It just feels like that's where the game kind of flips on its head at times, because you do set up this trap, and I don't know, Ultra is doing it to RØKKR right now. It's now a 70-point lead. We're growing to 80. They have all the map control. They're just making the kills look simple.
Well, yeah, it's one of the, I guess, few transitions where you don't have to flip, right? Like, you can kind of keep them pinned for several minutes if you can set it up right. And yeah, a big part of why you've got this separation now. If you are Ultra, but RØKKR, they're not out of the hunt yet. Desperately trying to get this to a map 5 and get their first win over Ultra.
Yeah, they need a response, though. They've had a couple of, Money Hills setups that have just gotten broken. It's been a little bit too easy for Toronto Ultra. Can they be better here on number 2? It was Priest the last time through who opened things up, and when Attach was able to hold on, and much better there. Attach able to take down Kleenex and Bance. You have Priest on the hill. He's got it with Standy. And that will slow things down for Ultra. They're still trying to work the middle of the map, but they are giving them nothing right now.
Yeah, it just feels like, Attach just needs to step it up in this matchup. And I think just in general, for so long he was, on a top team, considered one of these up-and-coming type superstars. And, it just hasn't been that great of a year for him individually. And it just feels like they could be so much stronger if he got back to that form.
Well, I think early on it was. I think he was the one bright spot for a little bit. Like, he was the consistent guy that we've always known. But I think recently, the last couple of stages, because, Standy knows that he's kind of the guy on the team now, right? So I think Attach has to get a little bit more comfortable. Those two need to play together. I think even in Search, like, when have we ever known Attach to be a 0.5 player? What did he do in Game 2? He was like 4 and 8. It was right around 0.5. So I think there has to be some sort of communication where we can get Attach activated a little bit more. As, they're able to bring it back down to 40. They're getting some map positioning. You do see Bance. He spawns out. Priest and Standy are able to find 2, but Standy the last player alive. But the spawns come in for RØKKR. They have some close spawns. They can get right back into the game. They can hold on.
They got to get into the point, though, first and foremost. They've got the spawns. Now can they get this next wave of kills? That's going to be 2 down. That's the chance to pounce. Insight's going to have to back up, but can't quite get away with his life. There's the last player to fall. Is RØKKR now surge into the hard point. There's just only 20 seconds left on the point, but they can chip away at this lead a bit as we get ready to head to our 4th point. And you can see the layer across mid-map. It is all purple, ready to lock in RØKKR when they finish up this point.
Yeah, and this is where Ultra, 4th and 5th hill, RØKKR could not get out of these traps. So they need to find a couple of early kills to get them out towards Catwalk, to give them some angles on the players on the hill. This Priest now on 5 in a row. Some streaks would be wonderful for the Minnesota side. But they find the first 2 kills. They're able to get number 3, Kleenex, the last one alive, and there is the break. They weren't able to do that on that first rotation. This time, able to get out.
How much of this time can they pick up? They get a good amount of it. We've got close to a tie game, but there's nobody in the point for now. Is Insight doing his best to keep them out? As he hops out of top green, though, he will get caught. Attach now. Rotates over. Little jump shot from Kleenex. Answered by one from Attach. Attach going big now inside of the hard point. Just trying to get all of this time for RØKKR as they bring him within 20.
Does anyone recognize that Bance spawns out, though? Bance could kind of spoil this setup. Ultra is waiting for number 2. They're waiting for Bance to make the play. As Attach gets aggressive and some players turn around. Insight, he's able to get over towards top green. It's not even on Bance. The rest of his teammates are able to win a couple of one-on-ones, and then Bance gets spotted. This hasn't been as clean as RØKKR has wanted. As the kills are coming in, that's 3 down now for Minnesota RØKKR.
Well, you sort of saw as soon as Bance took his first shots, all the white arrows just kind of looking side to side, looking back and forth, who's picking up what. And yeah, not as clean. It just gets a little bit messy due to the position of the Ultra players. But what has Ultra been good at all year? When it gets scrappy, when it gets messy, at times it feels like they can thrive in the chaos. They've been one of the more disciplined teams, but they can do it there as well. 5 points between the 2 squads, 10 seconds left on the hard point. I just feel like if you're Priesty, you kind of have to go big because the rest of your team just trying to get out of spawn. But there's a nice pick from Major.
Yeah, and they're able to get out. They have bricks control. They're trying to work top green. Ultra know, though, they can win it here. Only need 35 more seconds. Priesty going to go for that contest. And there's the first gunfight. That's going to allow Minnesota RØKKR to have top green control. And look at that. Insight has to look at that position. So that frees up an opening for Standy. But Cammy, he's watching over his teammates' back. But he just peeks out a little bit too wide looking at that contest spot.
Well, this whole time, though, Insight has been here. A nice reposition, but the double chow clears them out of the point for now. RØKKR have done a pretty good job of contesting or getting them out of the point, but they haven't actually been able to get any time themselves. They've at least done enough to guarantee another hard point. Ultra can no longer win it here. They can get darn close within a couple of seconds. But as you take a look at the map, as second gets ready to pop top middle, you might have position if you're RØKKR. They can do this.
Can they find the first couple of kills? That's what they did so well last time through. You see it's going down the middle of the map. Trades back and forth, but numbers in front of Ultra. And now it's a 1-on-3 on the point. Yep, Major Maniac, he gets taken down, and I think that's going to do it. Standy trying to hold on for dear life, but Kleenex and Bands, they're so good in that position, and it's just that early break. Ultra able to take the series 3-1.
You mentioned it. You said it's the first couple of kills, right? But that scrappy fight at mid-map, the favor goes to Ultra. I think they end up with like a 2-on-1 or 3-on-1 on the point, and they're able to lock it down from there. But Ultra have dominated this matchup all year. That'll bring the series total to 4-0 in favor of Ultra. RØKKR just cannot get it done in this matchup. It was an impressive win, in the raid hardpoint, but that's been the one thing they've really had as a constant, at least in the win category, against this Ultra team.
Yeah, and I mean, Surge, Ultra just a little bit ahead of the game there. I think a lot of clutch rounds that went the way of Toronto Ultra. Denny almost made some plays, but I think Control, you go back, it's just that defensive round, right? They just cannot give that up in round number 2. We go down 2-0 and try to have to win an offense. And I think on that Garrison hardpoint, they had a couple of chances early in that game. But the breaks were too easy from Ultra, specifically 2 and 3, right from the get-go. They just had a big deficit. They almost make the comeback, but you can't give up those leads to Toronto Ultra.
Well, just taking a look through the stats. I mean, nothing that crazy. I mean, Cammy, who's been kind of their pop-off guy, I mean, he's -6, but leads the way in damage. A nice map from Insight, just in the plus-minus column. Attach brought it back a bit, because I think he was like 8 and 15 at one point. He certainly started to bring it back, but I mean, they had their chances. They really did, but that stretch where you were talking about them kind of getting pinned, that's really where it began to fall apart. They were trapped for like 2 solid minutes.
Yeah, and then
Man, it was looking bad, and then it was looking good, then bad again. It was looking kind of good then there at the end. And just couldn't pull it out. IKON, what were your kind of takes from the fourth map there, the hard point? Unfortunately, we go down 1-3 to Toronto, but what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was just one too many little mistakes. Like, you start there, you have initial good side for spawns for P2, and you hold it for like the first 20 seconds, and then you end up getting flipped out. So they're able to get it within like 10 or 15 points at the end of P2 there. You have spawns for P3. Kleenex comes through, he's able to get a 3-piece. They're able to get those spawns for PT. I feel like it was just, you can afford to have like maybe one of those mistakes, but over and over again. You even saw it right there towards the end. The last set of rotations, we also had spawns for that P2, and they were able to just team wipe us and come through and get another team wipe there. So overall, if you look at the series as a whole, we are contending with who many would consider to be the second or third best team in the CDL. So that's a positive for your heart points. In the S&D, there were a ton of 1v1s and maybe one round that you gave away. But in that S&D, if you clutch up in those 1v1s, you don't give that round away. It comes down to the wire. Also, the control, we played on Checkmate. We know that is not our control map. So let's just throw that in the dumpster and just play one of the other two, either Garrison or Raid. But overall, we've said a lot, we have to get better at hard points. I think at the beginning of the year, we were like 11th or 12th in the CDL at hard points. And now we find ourselves in a spot where we're contending with the Torontos of the world in hard points. We're contending with like when we played Atlanta in the last group stage match of last stage, we beat them in a hard point. So a lot of it just comes down to cleaning up some of those tiny mistakes. Sure, you're going to make a mistake. You can afford one or two of them. You can't afford to lose spawns on Money Hills multiple times like we did in this last map. And then just shoring up your rounds in S&D, making sure that you're playing together so that when you have a 4v2 advantage, you can come through, you can trade those out, you can win those rounds. But just shoring up the little things. And now, again, if you look at the grand scheme of things, this is one of those squads where, sure, if you can beat Toronto or Dallas, that's great, but they're not necessarily must wins for getting into the winners bracket. Got to take care of business against LAG, Seattle, and Florida. Those are the three. We already got a win over LAG. So just you have another chance here against Dallas. Take care of business against Florida and Seattle. You're still going to find yourselves in the winners bracket, and you're still going to be where you want to be when it comes to CDL points overall, even though with LA Thieves win today, they are only 10 points behind us. So got to start churning out some of those W's.
Yeah, they are right behind us, man. And this would have been a huge win. I'm not sure many people expected the Minnesota RØKKR to come in and dominate or get a win, at least super easily. It would have been a struggle, but I thought there were some glimpses of hope there. And then like you mentioned, lots of the little things that we haven't been able to fully tighten up against those top 3 to 4 teams in the league. And that's what we're going to have to start doing if we want to make a deep run at champs. And so the good news is like you mentioned, in the grand scheme of things, this is not the end of the world, but this was a benchmark match for us, and I think we kind of saw where we were a little bit. I mean, we looked really nice on map 1, so I'm just going to try to, I'll fall asleep tonight thinking about that rather than the spawn trap on the control checkmate. That's a nightmare. But so, yeah, looking ahead, you alluded to it. The Minnesota RØKKR home series is next week on Thursday, the 15th through the 18th. Guys, this is not a live in-person LAN event. It is going to be online, just like this home series that you're watching today. However, we're activating in tons of ways here locally in the Twin Cities. IKON's coming to Minnesota, baby. Let's go.
Never been. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're gonna do the co-stream in person on Thursday. So definitely tune in on Thursday. We play at 3:30 Central Time versus Seattle Surge. IKON and I will be hanging out at RØKKR HQ doing the co-stream, drinking beer or whatever we do. I don't really drink beer that much, but regardless, so that's gonna be really exciting. On Friday the 16th, we actually have a premiere of the Final Circle beer, the Minnesota RØKKR official beer, made by Waconia Brewing Company. We're gonna be having like a beer premiere or a beer release party at Updown in Minneapolis on Friday night. Check out our Twitter and everything for more details. That's gonna be fun. I'll see you guys there. On Saturday the 17th and on Sunday the 18th, Minnesota RØKKR will also have a presence at Twin Cities Pride. We're going to have a booth, come through, say hello, have fun at Pride, man. I know it's usually Pride's had in June because that's Pride Month, but hey, we're in July. We're still going to celebrate, and we're really excited about that. And then on the 18th, woo, IKON, we're turning up. We're going to McGovern's in St. Paul. It's a pub style place. We're super excited, and it's going to be wild because we play Dallas Empire at 5 p.m. Central on that day. We're going to be doing an in-person at the bar co-stream. That's gonna be wild. I'm kind of nervous about that. We're turning up, baby. It's gonna be a good time. We're super stoked to do some fun co-streams though next week for you guys for the Minnesota RØKKR home series. So just a reminder to refresh, we play Seattle Surge next on Thursday the 15th at 3:30 Central. Tune in right here for the co-stream. It'll be in person. We'll be at RØKKR HQ. It'll be cool. And then on Sunday the 18th, we play at 5 p.m. Central versus Dallas Empire. And then, yeah, the next weekend we play Florida. We just play one match on the final weekend. So it's big matches coming up, man. Let's get into winners bracket for Stage 5 major LAN event with fans. It's going to be sick. But other than that, IKON, any parting thoughts here? Anything you want to say to the people before we go?
No, just overall, Group B has gone kind of how we predicted it to go. It's not like things are sliding off the tracks here. We got a win over LAG, which we were supposed to. Not very many people probably picked us to beat Toronto. So it is what it is. Just got to keep our sights set on a win over Seattle, win over Florida, and maybe we'll surprise Dallas. We'll see what happens.
You never freaking know, man. Online call. You never know. You never know. Anyways, thank you everyone so much for watching. We will catch you guys next time. Peace out.